Uh, Another type of, this is just a quick run through of what's called Premack's principle. And Premack's principle is the do something unlikely before something more than likely. It doesn't mean that the more than likely behavior reinforces the less than likely behavior. So say, for give an example, the story is told of this teenage girl whose job in the home was to empty the dishwasher, and she may or may not have done it like in a very timely fashion. So one evening around 6:30 or 7, her friends come to pick her up, and her mother says, well, why don't you unload the dishwasher before you leave? And she goes, Ma, my friends are right here. They're in the driveway. Yeah, go ahead. They'll wait for you. Go ahead, I'll time you. See how long it takes you. Ma, go ahead, take a minute. Now, unloading the dishwasher is an unlikely behavior for this teenager. Like, we have to unload dishwashers. But it was unlikely because she really didn't do it. And the likely behavior was getting in the car with her friends. So you put an unlikely behavior right before a more than likely behavior, and really increases motivation, because now she hurries up to get it done. And now she's going as fast as she possibly can to get the mother says, good job. And now the daughter's thinking to herself, like, I got to watch Mom. Maybe I'll start doing this a little sooner. Now the girl, of course, doesn't know that Mom is using Premack's principle of behavioral modification. But that's the idea, is to use an unlikely behavior. We could do this ourselves too, and probably most busy and successful people do something unlikely right before something more than likely. But that's an example of Premack's principle. And I'd like to talk about another case of behavior modification that Joanne Wilson uses. It's called jail time, and I think this is very important. Joanne Wilson has a lot of videos on her website, and people can go and watch on tantrumcontrol.com. Some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for, but this one, I'm not sure this one is on. It's called jail time. And what jail time is you don't put the child in jail. You put the child's beloved object, if it's their cell phone or if it's their game machine, you put it in jail, like in the trunk of the car. And the child says, am I grounded? Where's my game machine? Where's my phone? Am I being grounded? No, you're not grounded. And Joanne Wilson makes a strong point that grounding doesn't work. Grounding doesn't work. First of all, the child knows they're going to wear you down. They know you're going to give in. If you say, oh, you're going to get grounded another week now, it doesn't happen. But another reason why grounding doesn't work is because the child has not learned a positive behavior to put in place of their old behavior. So what she does is she will ask the child to repeat a positive behavior, or the caregiver to rehearse with the child a positive behavior maybe 3 times. And during these 3 times of positive rehearsal, and I'll give an example, you never mock the child and say, well, if you did this in the first place, you wouldn't have to worry about these things. You never mock the child. And so, for an example, would be this one young lad, this is on one of her videos, is asked to put his video game down and go to supper, and he never does. He never does, and they have to shut it off at the breaker box. They have to shut the game off, pull the plugs out of the wall. And so what they did is he lost his video game, and then they gave him, the game is gone, but they gave him a controller to practice with. So he has a positive practice. So he's pretending, he's going along with this. He says positive practice, and he's practicing with the controller, and he says, Johnny, what? Time for supper. Okay. And he puts it down like this. Great job, Johnny. And then he's got to do it again. And he's got to do it again. The minute he practices 3 times, he gets his beloved object, whatever it was, his prize, out of jail, comes right out of the trunk. We'll see tomorrow when I come home if you still have a good attitude. No. As soon as he practices 3 times, he gets rewarded right away.